George Floyd's death in Minneapolis is raising many concerns about policing policies, especially among communities of color.
In 2014, Chicago was shaken to the core over the police-involved shooting death of Laquan McDonald, prompting many reforms. Joining us now to talk about this is former Chicago Police Superintendent Gary McCarthy and civil rights attorney Andrew Stroh. Thank you both for joining us today on this Friday. This is rocking the country right now, I think, and the third-degree murder charge is coming out so quickly. Do you think it's because of the video? I mean, we've seen video before, but why do you think the charges have come out so quickly?
I think it was a bold and then swift move by the district attorney in a case like this. In a matter of 4 days, to have these charges filed is swift by any standard, especially in America when so few often are officers actually charged. I mean, this happened with a level of swiftness that is impressive.
For former Superintendent McCarthy, go ahead.
I think adding to that is the fact that from everything that I've seen, and obviously there's gaps in the videos that everybody's seen, but what we have here at worst is passive resistance. And, you know, there's no way that you can justify that level of force with passive resistance. People sometimes will lay down, not cooperate, stand up, and you have to pick them up and put them into a patrol wagon. But in this case, you know, I can't possibly see a justification for the amount of force that was used for a passive offender, if you will, if he did, in fact, deserve to be arrested.
Gary, let me ask you, you saw that video of Laquan McDonald shooting a couple of days after it happened and had one reaction to that video, and then a year later the public saw it and had a dramatically different reaction. How would you explain the divide between the police perspective and the public's perspective in situations like this?
Well, Ben, I'm not sure if you really know what my reaction was, because you weren't in the room and there were some expletives involved, quite frankly. So I don't know what you think I thought of it. I called the mayor immediately and I told him that it was obviously going to be a problem. And I told him that I don't know how the officer is going to explain what he did. But what people don't realize and should be reminded is that the 4 officers now in Minneapolis have been fired already. The police superintendent, David Brown, right now, could not fire an officer under the same circumstances. He could only make a recommendation to the police board. And guess what? During my tenure, until Lori Lightfoot took over the police board, they overturned 75% of my termination recommendations. I'm trying to fire officers, and they're not letting me do it. So there's a lot of misinformation that has gone on, especially regarding the Laquan McDonald incident, what I could do, what I couldn't do, what the reactions were, what my involvement was. I think one of the most telling things that people may or may not know is that there's something like 300 or so emails back and forth among City Hall regarding Laquan McDonald. That was all FOIA'd. And I was on exactly one of them. And it was after I was terminated. And I couldn't help myself, being a wise guy, when the press secretary from City Hall put out a statement saying that the police department cannot fire officers, only the police board can. And I said, that's great. It's about a week too late, guys. Thank you.
Well, did the mayor and governor do the right thing in this case in Minneapolis?
Well, I would say absolutely. And to Chief McCarthy's point, I mean, these cases, when there is video evidence, it makes all the difference in the world.
Well, there was video for Orlando Castile. There was video for Ed Gardner. You know, there was video in all these cases.
Right. Well, there's video combined with the climate in America right now that I think they're saying enough is enough. And they're seeing these actions happen over and over and over again. And the other thing that's similar about Chicago and Minneapolis is there's a pattern and practice of behavior. Minneapolis has a serious police problem. And this officer in particular had over 20 complaints, 2 letters of reprimand, and a history of excessive force. And so I think when you combine his background and this behavior and the video that everyone has seen on TV, I think the mayor and the district attorney had to move, and they had to move swiftly. A quick
question for both of you. Do you think these incidents are happening more often, or are we just seeing them more often because nowadays everybody has a camera in their pocket?
I think you're seeing them more often. But I also want to add one other thing that I just read, and it's very confusing to me. and it's a little perplexing, and it could be a problem down the line, is that the autopsy report says that there's no obvious sign of asphyxiation or strangulation, and that they believe that it was underlying health conditions. I think that opens the door for a defense for the officer, which could blow this whole thing up down the line. And, I just hope we don't have to go through the same thing again.
Do you see that, Andrew, causing a problem as far as getting a guilty verdict here?
Oh, I think anytime you have jurors in a box, people can have different opinions. And let's keep in mind, and I know the lawyer that handles the civil case, Benjamin Crump, the civil case is very different than the criminal case. The indictment that was just handed down, remember, the standard is beyond a reasonable doubt. And that is a very high standard. And per Gary's point, yeah, there's going to be a defense for sure. But can you convince all those jurors beyond a reasonable doubt that this officer is guilty? And I will also tell you, juries generally favor law enforcement. So we'll see what happens on the criminal case. We'll see what happens on the civil case. But I want to make a point to the mayor and to they've done a good job, and I appreciate their leadership with COVID and that pandemic. But we have another crisis in Chicago, and Gary's really familiar with it. It's violence in our streets, as well as there's a pattern in practice and history of officers using excessive force, especially in communities of color. So I think hopefully Chicago can learn from what's going on in Minneapolis.
Gary, did you see a coat of blue with the other officers watching as Chauvin had his knee on Floyd's neck?
Well, Micah, they participated. At least two of them. If you look at another video, it shows two of them holding down the rest of his body. That is just simply, not in my mind, based on what I saw, passive resistance, not appropriate force to be using at that point. So, I'm really looking forward to learning the cause of death. Like I said, that autopsy is a problem. And, again, like Andrew said, and I agree, you gotta swiftly address these things. But sometimes when you move too quickly, mistakes are made, and that's a problem down the line. Process has to be followed.
And Gary, to your point about those questions about the autopsy or the lack of conclusiveness on death by asphyxiation, there are communities that will read that and say, oh, well, this is the system that's covering up for itself.
Well, the system is very disjointed, I can assure you of that. I have not worked well sometimes with state's attorneys. I have never worked well with an ME, quite frankly. They come to conclusions that are sometimes outside the pale of what we should be doing. And there's problems with that moving down the road. So I don't see that an ME is going to participate in any sort of a cover-up. Based upon my knowledge.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. This is far, far from over. Be safe, be well.
You too. Thanks, Micah. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Good seeing you, Andrew.